Shut your hole!
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the Retro Wrestling Room. This is the second episode in our brand new series called Can Wrestlers Act? Ever since the 1980s, wrestlers have been crossing over into Hollywood. I mean, why not? Wrestling is acting, right? Surely it'll be a smooth transition over to the big screen. The only criteria for this series is that the film must have a wrestler in a prominent role. And as always, I am here with my wife, the hook to my Danhausen, Vicky through the looking glass.
Hi guys.
How are you today, Vicky?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. Been up to anything good lately?
No, not especially. We're going to Florida soon.
Again, we are joined by the one and only Dr. Dogface Gremlin of the channel, Erica.
Hello!
How are you today?
Well, you know what? It's a pleasure to be back. Life couldn't be better than it is right now.
How did we all enjoy the last movie, Mr. Nanny?
I mean, it's a bona fide classic. I think about it, I would say I think about it at least once a day.
Okay.
It's been a real life changer for me.
It has. Are you still thinking about that sandwich?
Always. Always.
I'm thinking about the dog.
The tragic dog.
We also have Erica's partner in crime joining us today, the big Papa Pump of the channel, Neil. How are you today, Neil?
Well, it's the first time I've been called that, Ben, but I feel it's quite apt. I'm fine, thanks. Although this film has left me pondering many things in my life, so I'm happy to dig into it with you guys.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. So today we are going to look at possibly the best named film of all time, and it stars Roddy Piper. This is Hell Comes to Frogtown. So, has anybody seen this film before?
No, and I don't know how I missed it.
I've seen the odd clips that you've showed me. I think I've seen like a snippet, maybe like 2 minutes.
I was amazed. I didn't even know it existed.
I think that's for a reason.
Yeah, probably.
I think we'll get to it in the review, but funnily enough, I hadn't seen this film as a kid like I did Mr. Nanny.
So I think really all of our parents let us down in a big way.
Quite possibly. What memories does everyone have of Roddy Piper?
My main memory is from when we did the video on Should We Keep This VHS?
Oh god.
And it was Keep Fit with Roddy Piper. That's my main memory because that's been engraved in my memory forever. I'm not saying any more than I watched the video. My mind was blown.
That's not my mum.
No, that's not my dad.
Oh yeah, it was Dad.
That's not my dad.
Erica and Neil, yours is probably It's Always Sunny.
Oh, see, now when I think of him, I think of the iconic costume his iconic clothes that he wore.
Ring attire.
Yeah, his ring attire. Yes, I like that. But yeah, I mean, it's that T-shirt, the ringer tee, and the kilt.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get any better than that.
I mean, I was very much into WWF as it was back in the 80s, early 90s, so I remember him being a big deal. And I remember this very stereotypical Scottish guy coming in to the ring, then find out later he wasn't actually Scottish.
At all.
Not even close. So, Roddy Piper was born on April 17th, 1951 in Saskatchewan, Canada. I know, he's not actually Scottish.
Mind blown.
Mind blown. And he had such a strong Scottish accent as well. I don't know how we never put two and two together.
Again, our parents let us down.
They did. So, he started his career in the AWA against the likes of Larry the Axe Hennig, but really found his form in the Portland-based Pacific Northwest Territory and even won the NWA Pacific Northwest Heavyweight Championship. His most famous run before his big run in the WWF was in Jim Crockett Promotions, where he headlined with the likes of Sergeant Slaughter, Ric Flair and Greg Valentine, with his biggest match probably being against Valentine at the very first Starrcade show in the infamous dog collar match. So much like Hulk Hogan in our last review, Roddy Piper was one of the very, very top stars in the mid to late 80s. He headlined the very first WrestleMania in a losing battle against Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. He had his retirement match in 1987 at WrestleMania 3 against Adrian Adonis. This retirement lasted roughly 2 years, and he was back in a segment of WrestleMania 5 with Morty Downey Jr. He left with the hopes of becoming a big Hollywood star, but things didn't quite pan out that way.
When you say big Hollywood star, can you please put the clip of Tommy Wiseau?
Big movie star.
Just
big
saying
movie
it's
Hollywood guy.
Yeah, that's the one.
The same year as this came out, he was in the much more beloved John Carpenter classic They Live. But we're here to look at his first lead role in a motion picture. So strap yourselves in and get ready for Hell Comes to Frogtown. The film starts with just a voiceover with a huge plot dump to get us up to speed. We are told that we thought nuclear bombs were just going to be used for wars and peace talks, but it ended up with the globe being blown to dust. I got a feeling this film isn't going to be as cheery as the last one, just by the opening monologue.
Yeah, I mean, it starts off with some really stark and dark political commentary. And I would even say some echoes of Oppenheimer.
Echoes, I would say.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not even echoes, I would say it's full-on Oppenheimer conveyance.
Yes.
We then go to 10 years in the future with two people arguing over a Statue of Liberty replica, and one of them gets shot in the chest. The camera does a close-up on the attacker, who is wearing goggles and what looks to be some sort of beekeeper's mask.
Yeah, that confused me right from the start.
He ribbits and we get the Hell Comes to Frogtown card in flames. This is going to be madness, isn't it?
They
Yeah.
also call him Squid Lips.
Again, like this is, we had some great insults in Mr. Nanny. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have some more great insults in this film.
Scuzz Bucket.
Oh, classic.
I mean, Squid Lips immediately tells you a story that there's something not right with this guy. A, he's wearing a mask, and B, he's being referred to as Squid Lips. So
That
you
is
have an
true.
idea.
And I don't see
He
it.
could have just been keeping bees and got stung by the bees.
Exactly.
Ooh. Something you don't see in films these days, we get opening credits with stills of the main members of the cast. It's overlaid with creepy sounds and like pan flutes or something. Not the best soundtrack I've ever heard so far.
No, the intro looked like it had been done on Windows Movie Maker. You know when they use the effect to like make a picture look like pop art?
Yes.
It looked like they'd done that, and it was just like a kid in school. That's what it reminded me of.
We get a shot of Roddy Piper on a wanted poster, and it says how he is now captured. His actual name is Sam Hell.
What a name.
Do you get it? Because Hell Comes to Frogtown. But his name is Hell.
Yeah, I got it.
It was on
Oh,
my
I
nose.
hadn't put those together.
Mind blown.
I thought his name was Sam Hellman, because they called him Hellman a couple of times.
The mayonnaise people got involved. That's why they couldn't call him Hellman.
Well, it's weird because he refers to himself as Sam Hell. On the credits it says Sam Hell, but at least two different characters call him Hellman in the film.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So Sam Hell is tied to a chair and is being sorry. I'm not going to read this, Phil. Sam Hell is tied to a chair and is being interrogated and abused by a police officer because he's apparently fiddled his daughter. Is that really a good starting point for the hero of the movie?
It's you never hear of a positive fiddling.
No,
The only way is up, to be fair.
that is true. It's such a weird way to introduce the hero.
Yeah.
Luckily for Sam Hell, two special agents come in and explain that he has actually got his daughter pregnant and he is carrying, inverted commas, a loaded weapon, and they are taking him away by orders of the government. What are they talking about?
Can I just point out it's provisional government?
Okay,
And
thank you.
if he's been fiddling and she's pregnant, surely that's just evidence that he has been fiddling and that should go against him?
Times are tough.
So many questions. This film left me with a lot of questions.
And tears?
Yeah.
Sam Hell is then in a government lab with a hospital gown on backwards and had a metallic codpiece on that says property of the government on it. There's also a sign on the wall with condoms written on it with a no symbol emblazed on it.
My question was, I don't know if you're going to come on to this in a minute about the plot, but they said that most of the race is infertile. So if they're infertile, they wouldn't need condoms? Or have I...
I think they want to remove condoms because that's a potential obstacle to any fertility.
And considering this is like 1988, this was released, which is probably at the height of the AIDS pandemic, this is quite an odd film going on.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a weird message.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, this is also a film from 1988, so politically speaking, we're looking at George H.W. Bush versus Michael Dukakis in the American election.
Dukakis.
And my first thought of like, what, I mean, you know, the opening scene, like, it's like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? And then there's all this pro-life propaganda. It's just, I wasn't expecting it. I don't know what I thought was going to be happening in this film, but I couldn't have predicted any of it.
Couldn't be further away from Mr. Nanny. I feel like we've gone from 0 to 100.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait till we go to 150 during this film. They've done tests on our hero and explained that he has left a string of ladies pregnant wherever he has been, and he has the highest sperm count that they have ever seen. I wonder why I never saw this film as a kid.
Our parents did a great job. Thanks, parents.
They are willing to drop all the charges against him as long as he impregnates loads of women across the land. Here's a good sentence for you. He tries to undo his metal pants, but he can't as they're locked on. Luckily for him, though, he has a flap.
I can't cope with this film.
I mean, this is all in... this is all it takes place like in the first 7 minutes of the film.
Yeah,
like it is so much. It is so much, and to be honest, I wasn't expecting this much sexiness.
Now we're only 7 minutes in, but about 3 minutes of those with the titles.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened.
My issue is that if he's been leaving a string of impregnated women wherever he's been, why does the government need to get involved? Like, you do you, hun, just get on with it. Like, he's already doing what they want him to do, just leave him alone. Surely they're better just to have, like, surveillance on him, but they don't have to go through all of this.
I think it's because the government's never really used the phrase, you do you, hun.
Official policy.
Should be. Don't be a dick and you do you, hun. That's all they need to say.
Joe Biden, 2024. You do you, hun. We then get a news flash telling us that the war rages on, and after 18 months as the Muppets keep attacking. At least that's what I think they said, as it's the worst audio that has ever been put to film. I know they're trying to like get across that this like nuclear war's been happening, so the news station isn't great, but surely we should be able to hear the plot.
No.
You think so, wouldn't you?
We then meet Sentinella, who is in charge of driving around Hot Rod. She is driving a bright pink car with a gun attached to the top. Very inconspicuous.
I liked it.
I thought you would.
She looked like Army Barbie.
Army Barbie.
Yeah.
Nice. We get to the border, and one of the border patrolmen has a toad stomper badge on his arm. I don't know why I found it so funny.
I wrote Toad Stomper.
Can I also mention that border station is number 1444?
Mm-hmm.
Which implies the existence of 1,443 other border stations.
Yep.
Which means they've really gone all out to stop people getting to that Muppet area.
Yep. Like, that is a lot of borders. After a tense standoff, we then hear some more plot dump. Apparently, a mutant called Toti has captured and is holding to ransom a group of fertile female pilgrims, and they are going to try to save them.
How do they know they were fertile?
They've done tests, Rick.
They just know.
Lots of tests. The government agent called Spangle states that we are going to save them, then you are going to impregnate them. Have we ever seen a premise as mad as this before?
I think the exact line was, we're going to get them out and you're going to get them pregnant. That was the exact line. I was like, okay. Who pitched this? Who went into a film studio and said, I've got this idea for a film?
Well, I'm guessing it was Roddy Piper. And no one else.
I want to do everyone and be a hero for it. They pull over to refill on gas, and Sam tries to make a run for it. And I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, his pants start ringing and he gets electrocuted by them.
I just wrote down Dick Taser.
Nice. Nice use of the phrase dictator there.
Never thought I'd say that in my life. I can't even say it with a straight face.
Only Spangle can de-detonate it. Thankfully she does, and we don't have to watch Sam's little hot rod get splattered across the desert.
So before we go on into this, I have to say that the car and the gals, it's all very reminiscent of a ZZ Top video. Like, I'm pretty sure that this car has been featured in ZZ Top videos, but yeah, it kind of felt, it definitely had that vibe. I was just trying to block the actual premise of the film.
Yeah.
I didn't want to think about it, and I was really just tired of seeing Roddy Piper's crotch.
I put is Spangle human? She talks like a robot. I felt like she gave me Terminator vibes. She didn't quite seem human. I know she's government, but...
They stop for the night, and Sentinella starts to give Sam the eyes as she is cleaning a massive gun. Not a euphemism, by the way.
She cleans the gun a lot.
A lot. That is a dirty gun.
If there was a drinking game, you drink every time she cleans the gun, you would be wasted. You wouldn't make
Vicky's drinking game. Spangle then comes out to upstage her by wearing some lingerie and standing really awkwardly. Roddy turns down her advances though, maybe because she almost blew his dong off earlier that day.
This film is so sexy.
It's too sexy.
It's too sexy. Also, we've got to go to like the lingerie. So it's obviously government issued lingerie that Spangle's been has.
How do you know it's government issued?
Well, because it's camouflage.
Oh, okay. So only the government would issue that.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously part of a uniform.
Okay.
And she is quite an uptight lady, as Vic says. She's quite robotic, so I don't think she'd own lingerie like that.
No.
Do we know enough about her backstory to make these judgments? Or are we being unfair?
Maybe we're being a bit too judgmental.
Maybe. But I mean, she's a robot. I don't feel like she's got much of a backstory.
She's not actually a
It's
robot, though, is
never
she?
proven that she's a robot.
For clarity, that's not proven.
I mean, her seductive dance moves suggest she is a robot.
Yeah.
I've never seen any unsexier dancing in my life.
As mad as this film is, I don't think she's a robot. Roddy changes his mind though, but then plot twist, Spangle isn't really interested in him and is just making sure that he stays in a potent state. Christ, what is this?
Potent state.
It is. Woo.
There's an hour of this movie left. It sure took me by surprise, but then Sentinella then wakes him up in the middle of the night, strips off really quick.
Real quick, like that's the fastest.
Boobs are out.
I know, it was so fast.
I've never seen anybody get naked that fast.
Yeah.
Can I also interject by saying when her boobs come out, you can hear wolves in the background, and the wolves seem to be interested in what's going on.
Didn't notice the wolves.
There were definitely wolves in the background.
I mean, I was wolf whistling.
Those wolves were actually wolf whistling.
The little with cartoon eyes.
Yeah.
Ooga.
Say that again.
Hubba. She wants to know if all the stories about him are true. Spangle then comes back out, cock blocks him yet again, and puts a stop to their midnight party. They set off on the road again, and Roddy isn't happy with the plan. He insists that he is signed up to fuck for freedom, and he chucks the contract out of the car so they leave him behind.
I mean, what a contract. Contract to fuck for freedom.
It's the contract we all want.
Post-apocalyptic world, who's going to bind that contract? I mean, is there?
It's
Do we have lawyers?
But that's why we have a provisional government.
Provisional government. Yeah.
As he's left on his own, his metal cock holder starts beeping by the side of the road.
Uh-oh, he's gonna blow.
In more ways than one. Oh yeah. Roddy manages to catch up with the rest of the motley crew, and they find one of the escaped hostages on the motion tracker.
Sorry, stop that. It was ZZ Top, not Motley Crue.
So they find this hostage, so obviously they capture her, tie her up, sedate her, and then Spangle tries to get Roddy to Bill Cosby her. And these are the good guys.
He talks to her like she's a pet. He says he's going to be nice to her, and he just talks to her like I speak to my cat.
He's a
Pretty
gentleman.
He talks to her like a cat.
Gentle.
Yeah.
It's too strange. It's just the whole thing's weird.
Yeah.
Roddy doesn't want to do it though, so Spangle does a strip tease to try and entice him into doing the job.
Yeah, again, like any opportunity. Like this robot woman. I mean, not robot.
Not
woman.
robot.
If you just read about this film, you would think that this would be the most exciting. But my God, the sex scenes in this,
It's like Tommy Wiseau in The Room.
exactly what I was going to say. The sex scenes in The Room are easier to get through than this.
That is a comment. That is a comment.
To top it all off and to make it slightly weirder, we have someone hiding in the bushes watching through binoculars. They're ribbiting again, and he's wearing a beekeeper's mask. What is happening?
Pervy mutants, obviously. And also, when he tells her to put a shirt on, why does she not know how to put a shirt back on?
I don't know.
Like the arms are inside out, it's kind of like half over her
Yeah,
shoulders,
like-
it's not covering anything. I'm like, what are you doing? Which I guess means that she's human, not a robot, because a robot would know what to do.
Well, one thing we all know about robots is they know how to wear clothes.
The next morning, they let the captive go and tell her now that she is a suspected mother that she will be classed as a queen. So that means our hero went through with the deed.
She also seems extremely grateful.
Very grateful.
They
Very
also just
grateful.
leave her in the desert. They're like, oh, you're a mother, you can be treated like a queen.
Bye.
So they just leave a pregnant lady on
Yeah.
the road in the middle of the desert, just
They'll-
like, ta-ra, good luck.
They'll come and collect you, don't worry.
Didn't they say in like 2 to 3 days?
Yeah, it's going to take her 2 to 3 days. She doesn't even have water with her.
Ah, there was that weird creepy pervy mutant that could just capture her again. Massive plot hole. He knew exactly where she was, he could have just taken her back. Also, I did add at this point, I can't say her name, Sentilia?
Sentinella.
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 Why is she dressed like Tomb Raider?
Well, this predates Tomb Raider, doesn't it? So
So
Tomb
Tomb
Raider's
Raider-
dressed like Sentinella.
Sentinella was not issued. She wasn't issued a bra. Like she'd obviously Spangle got all the lingerie, and Sentinella goes braless.
Yeah.
Helps her getting dressed quicker.
It does. It does.
Essentially.
It's efficient.
We then find out that the plan to get into Frogtown involves Spangle dressing up like Princess Leia from Return of the Jedi and pretend to be a hostage of Hot Rod. Spangle gives him 3 rules. Do not try and remove the detonator, don't go too far away, and if he doesn't do what she says, his equipment blows.
It's pretty much all the same rule, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all the same, just listen to me.
It's like, don't make me make your cock explode.
Yeah, until I want your cock to explode.
Yeah.
Hey.
As our heroes enter Frogtown, we are greeted with a frog lady doing a Coyote Ugly dance on top of the bar. This film is now going to get even weirder. We've reached Frogtown and it's going to get really weird.
So there's a sexy frog dancing, and also in this bar where the sexy frog is dancing, there's another frog just reading The Frog Prince.
Yeah.
And I feel like, why would a frog be reading a kid's book when there's a sexy frog dancing? I feel like that's a really weird thing. Like, even if you were a human in a strip club, I feel like that's a weird thing to do. You wouldn't just be sit there reading, like, Hansel and Gretel.
Is he an asexual frog?
But it also seems like there isn't really anywhere else to go in Frogtown. Like
No.
maybe he just likes ambient noise whilst reading.
I mean, it's mentioned quite clearly that the only 2 locations of Frogtown are the saloon, and if the saloon is closed, you go to the mines.
I feel
So,
like you'd get more peace to read in a mine.
yeah, but there's no light, or not
Bit dark
enough.
then.
Touché.
I can't say when I ever go to Coyote Ugly, I just bust out my edition of Roald Dahl and just start reading it. While at the bar, we bump into an old friend of Sam's called Looney. He tells us his name is Looney because he's crazy.
Makes sense.
It's that simple, I guess.
I mean, this film is that on the nose.
Does what it says on the tin.
While moving through the bar, the dancing frog lady gives Spangle a signal, and she is the ally on the inside. I now feel like we're going to go in depth in this part, like we did on Hulk Sandwich in the Mr. Nanny review. What do we think is in the dish that Looney is eating? It is like popcorn in some sort
Texture.
of weird green liquid.
Yeah, see, I was thinking like large curd cottage cheese.
Are we speculating
Okay, I
on
thought-
what he is eating in terms of what they gave him to make it look like, or what?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
thought popcorn and jelly, but like liquidy jelly, not set jelly.
It looks grim, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He seems to be enjoying it, the
Yeah.
actor, so
Yeah.
it couldn't have been that bad. It's a blended baby tortoise and brown lizard.
Ah,
Supposedly, that's what he says he's eating.
beautiful mix.
I mean, that's what we're gonna have for tea tonight.
You gotta have brown lizard if you're having boiled baby tortoise.
We then meet the head honcho. We know this as he's wearing a white pimp suit and a fez on top of his tiny little frog head.
It looked amazing. A frog in a fez is something I never thought I'd see.
But also wearing swim goggles.
I don't know what the goggles are all about. If there's any creature that probably doesn't need goggles, I would have thought it would be frogs.
I would think so too.
Yeah.
Although, is this part of the mutant process where there have been some defects?
And they're still sort of a bit human, so maybe the human eyes are letting them down.
Can we also say, so as Looney is eating his baby tortoise and brown lizard stew, he also hands Hell a beer, and he gets really excited. And I was quite surprised to see such a blatant product placement for Coors.
That's true, yeah. Coors were like, this film is going to be a big hit.
Yeah, we want in on this.
We want in on this.
Now.
But I also don't think it's really a product placement for Coors, because didn't they say it's only slightly radioactive?
They did say that.
Oh, yeah.
Sam tries to upsell Spangle and tells this fez-wearing frog monster that she's exceptionally good at erotic dancing. I already know we're going to have to watch that, aren't we? I'm like, oh no.
No more dancing, Hun, stop.
Another frog creature with an eye patch by the name of Bull comes in, trying to steal the deal.
Why has he got an eye patch? That was my question. They don't give us any backstory. I want to know how he got the eye patch.
Maybe that's in the prequel. Then, in the maddest line I have ever heard in any film I have ever seen, Bull isn't happy that there's a private barter taking place and tells Fezboy to
Shut your hole!
shut your hole!
No private barters allowed in Frogtown.
Oh, I'm dead. I can't. That was the best line of the film. I'm going to quote this all the time.
It's the maddest delivery I've ever heard any character deliver anything before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Shut your hole!
It
Just out of nowhere.
It just doesn't fit the context of anything.
Are they just trying to establish that Bull is a loose cannon?
I'm definitely going to say that so many times now.
Now, I gotta say, I was really surprised at the quality of the costumes, like the frog costumes, because with the rest of the film, you think this is budget and shit. When we actually are introduced to the residents of Frogtown, it's going to be really disappointing.
The residents of Frogtown.
But honestly, it's really impressive, I thought. They're good costumes.
I'd
Do you
agree.
think he came up with the idea of the film? It wasn't necessarily going to be frogs, and they found the costumes and just got a job lot on them.
No. The budget of this film is something like 1,500,000.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. Well, put it into context, Mr. Nanny cost 4 million.
Right, okay.
So, it hasn't got the biggest budget, but...
$1 million of the budget went on frogs.
Well, no. Because the special effects guy only had 12 grand to work with. I think he did an amazing job.
did.
Oh, wow.
He did.
Because you see their throats moving.
The eyes are really good as well.
Yeah.
The functioning eyes, But yeah, they're very good.
It is good for the budget that he's given. Bull then bids 5 lilies, which must be the currency here. And when Sam turns down the deal, Bull hits him in the stomach, which knocks him out, which is impressive on its own. He then insults him by calling him flat lips. It's as if he knew the future of what Instagram models would look like in 2024.
Can I just ask, when they say 5 lilies, like lilies is the currency, are they actually trading actual lilies? Or
I
is it
really
just...
don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Why don't you know?
It's a question for the provisional government.
Okay.
In the next scene, Sam is being taken care of and woken up by the sexy frog dancer, who is now smoking and everything. She tells Sam that Spangle has been taken away to the harem. Sam states that he doesn't know how he can repay her for the help, and oh god no, she's forced herself on him.
It's all a bit rapey, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole film.
If there was a tagline, that would be my tagline for it. It's all a bit rapey.
Like, initially, he's resistant to her charms, yeah? But then, the next scene, you see he's put, like, a bag over her head.
Yep.
And that makes it okay.
See, now this is
That makes it okay.
So
It's all a bit rapey. The
Yeah.
other way.
yeah, so I thought he was I didn't think he was gonna try and escape. I thought he was putting a bag over her head
Because she's too ugly.
because she's
Yeah, I
quite
agree.
ugly. So
I agree.
that was the only way he could
I
get
think-
through
I
with it.
I think that's what he's trying to suggest to her. But then he runs off, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He is going to bang that frog, isn't he?
He's got no issue with the frog anatomy, just the frog face.
Yeah.
She's also got a weird headpiece on.
Yeah, she got a cool hat. I liked it.
Yeah,
It looked like a fruit basket.
it did.
Like I said, she is sexy.
It's a little bit summery.
She knows about the legend of Sam Hell and wants a piece of him for herself, basically.
This guy's dick has quite the reputation.
It really does. As this horrific image is happening, Spangle is now being sent to Toty. Not Toady, by the way. We looked it out, it is Toty.
We all thought it was Toady all the way through.
Which would make sense.
Yeah, which
But yeah,
makes
why would he be called Toady if he's a frog? Because frogs and toads are different.
they are different.
Well, that's why it's Toty, because it wouldn't make sense
Yeah, I
otherwise.
guess so.
But why would you choose
Why
a
would
name
he-
so similar to Toad?
Why don't they just call him Dave?
Like
Or Steve?
King Frog.
Dave.
Or Steve?
Dave or Steve. Dave Stevenson.
I don't know, Freddy. Freddy the Frog.
Freddo the Frog, as in the chocolate?
No, don't get him involved in this.
He wants nothing to do with this. Cadburys are very much not involved with any part of this film.
And they were very litigious company, as we know.
Leave Freddo out of this.
I mean,
We
talking
like
about
Freddo.
sexy frogs.
When you eat a Freddo, do you start with the head or the bottom?
Depends if he's bought me dinner first.
That is the correct answer.
Piper's pipe starts beeping again. So that
Piper's piece.
he starts beeping again and he has to get to it quick. Sam, who is apparently the war hero, falls off of a platform and knocks himself out again. He is useless. He hasn't done anything. The harem of ladies are doing some sort of ceremony over Spangle to, quote, awaken her body. I don't know anymore. All this while Bull now has Spangle captive and is looking to chainsaw off Sam's pants.
Surely, like, wafting that material over her would make her less sweaty, it'd cool her down, it'd fan her.
Yeah.
That scene didn't make me question anything. The fact that there's now a frog monster with a chainsaw trying to actually chainsaw off Roddy Piper's metallic pants, that's the bit I really got stumped on.
The other thing with that is they've juxtaposed those two scenes. So at one moment you're seeing this lady being fanned by a harem of ladies.
Yep.
While getting sweaty whilst being fanned.
Yep.
She's really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Mr. Piper being attacked with a chainsaw by a frog. And those, I don't think there have been two more juxtaposed scenes in film history.
The harem tells Spangle that they are trying to awaken her for the dance of the three snakes. While the girls are waving light bits of fabric across Spangle, it sets off the alarm in her earring, which will trigger the pants to blow. Amazingly though, Bull does a fantastic job and manages to remove them without hurting Roddy. But then they just instantly explode in his face.
Can we also point out, during this scene where a mutant frog man is trying to chainsaw another man's metal pants,
Yep.
so Bull says to Roddy at this point, "You are a weird dude," which is like a bit like,
Kettle black.
yeah, Kettle Black, pretty much.
He's not down for long though, as when the frog lady tries to save Sam, he's back up to his feet and stabs her right in the frog boob.
Sexy Frog saves the day, then dies.
Yep. Sam exacts his revenge though by stabbing him, so it's all okay. Spangle is brought to Toty, who demands her to dance or die.
Dance of the three snakes or die. I think I'd take death.
Not knowing what this is, she tries her best and starts doing weird Kate Bush interpretive dancing for him.
I like that she's wearing slippers.
I can't say I noticed them at the time.
She's wearing fluffy slippers.
I was very distracted by the movie.
She also has fluffy pants.
Yeah.
Government issued.
No, these are not government issued.
They're not provisional government
no.
issued.
No.
By the horrific noises that he starts to make, it seems to be the right dance. and
It seems to be the right dance.
we find out that the three snakes are, well, his three frog dongs.
You have aroused the three snakes. Come to me.
He has three... What is this?
I don't know.
Is he the only one with three, or do the other frogs have three?
Because I was thinking
I
as
don't know.
this is happening, I was like, wait, do frogs have three?
I don't think they have three.
Okay, I wasn't
Did
quite
anyone
sure.
else look it up?
No,
I think it's.
No.
I think
I'd rather just let it,
Cows have three stomachs. Maybe that's where they got it from.
If you're
I
watching
highly
this,
doubt that, Vic. To be totally honest,
If you're
When they were
watching
making
this
this, they
and
thought-
you're curious, please don't type it into Google.
I think it's artistic license. The fact that he's got three snakes.
Maybe that's why he's in charge. Everyone else only has one. And he's got three. So
How would that help him be in charge?
I don't know. Maybe he thinks he's better than them.
Yeah, but why would they agree?
I don't know.
Okay, well you've got to think these things through before you submit it to tape.
Luckily for everyone involved, Spangle isn't interested and kicks him in all three, before Sam bursts into the room holding two guns and shouts, "Eat lead, froggies!" I need a break. I can't handle this film anymore.
And they do eat lead, though, don't they?
Oh, they certainly do.
I don't feel like much drama comes to Frogtown usually. I feel like usually Toadie's in charge and they're kind of left
Not much drama comes to Frogtown.
until
That's a different film.
I feel like normally Toadie's in charge. He doesn't need to have the best goons because no one gets close enough. It's just kind of like, you sat by the hair, keep guard, you keep watch.
I'd love it if that was like the really boring sequel. Not much comes to Frogtown.
It was Frogtown in peacetime.
It's just like frogs in suits working at desks and things.
little frog nuclear families having just an easy life.
Yeah, just like chatting.
Yeah.
Reading the Frog Prince.
The frogs retreat, start to load up on guns and bring their friends as we get more backstory for Sam. He's wearing a heart-shaped necklace around his neck that belonged to his daughter.
The one he fiddled.
I don't think he fiddled his own daughter.
Oh.
I think he's just interested in other people's daughters. I don't think he'd be allowed to be a hero if that was the case.
I misread the first scene. I didn't hear it properly, did I?
I don't think so. Spangle, showing way more fighting skills than Sam, takes out two of the guards who are guarding the door to the captive ladies, and they start to make their escape.
At least the hair looks good.
Their hair look great, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go as far as saying that Spangle is a bit of a feminist icon.
I tell you who is a feminist icon. Scintilla.
Yeah, Scintilla, yeah.
She's a badass.
Isn't it Sentinella?
It is.
You kind of, she's such an icon, the name is interchangeable.
I've written Scintilla, I've written Sentinella.
This film's just blown our mind. Everything's gone out the water with us.
Whatever her name is in this film, she's on the outside. She shows back up and tells the frog people that they are either going to eat dirt or eat lead. Being wise, they both jump to the floor. She honks the horn, and for the first time in this film, this is also not a euphemism. Much like a clown car, all the girls, plus Spangle, plus Sentinella, plus Roddy, all get into the car.
And
What is
Looney.
this, a TARDIS?
And Looney.
Yeah, Sam then brings out Looney. How many people can they fit in this car?
Enough to party.
Oh, it's going to be a
Well,
heck
if
of a
you've ever
party.
seen a ZZ Top video, many sexy ladies come out of those cars.
Many.
The good guys who are in their wacky races car think that they are free. Looney, however, passes away in the back as he is bleeding from the back of the head. Then out of nowhere, Toadie in his car starts firing missiles at the gang, and a firefight ensues.
I like that their car is painted like a frog. It kind of looks scaly.
A guy with a missile then stops the gang and pulls them over. He takes off his mask, and it's the guy from the beginning who was holding him in a cell before the government freed him. Luckily, Roddy does the first useful thing in the film and throws a sword at him, which takes him out.
What a shot.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Perfect
Just like,
aim.
Perfect aim, straight through the chest, dead. Oh no, he does a Michael Myers and disappears. Roddy finally tracks him down, and to no one's surprise except for Sam's, he's faking and tries to shoot him with a missile, but Sam does what Han Solo originally did and shoots him first. So that guy was completely useless.
What was the point?
He didn't do anything.
No, what was the point?
There's then a big explosion, and Sam sees that the printmobile has been exploded. It's Toadie and his crew. Sam tries to shoot him, but his rocket launcher isn't working. Toadie catches up to him for the final boss battle, which takes place on top of Vasquez Rocks. After a back and forth battle, Roddy pokes him in the eye and kicks him off the top of the mountain. He manages to hold on and is then thwarted with a big sword again. Twice now Sam has proved his worth. Sam makes his way back to the car wreckage, and luckily all the women have made it out alive.
A miracle.
Even with costume changes.
Amazing. All in that car, there's room for all of those people and a suitcase of clothes.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Sam then vows to do his duty with all of them. And it's not only ours, but it's also Sam's happy ending. So guys, what did everyone think of Hell Comes to Frogtown?
It was worse than I could have possibly imagined. Like, I didn't have high expectations, but I can't believe, how did this get made?
I have no words. Like, literally, my mind is blown. It's genuinely giving me a headache because my mind can't process it.
It's somehow weirder and way more boring than it should be.
I'd agree. You think the weirdness would mean that you're entertained, but somehow they make it extremely boring, and it drags.
Yeah.
It really drags.
If you just read out like the synopsis of that film, you think it's going to be the weirdest film ever. And somehow it is. But you're incredibly bored watching it as well. It makes no sense.
I don't understand, because like even something like The Room, which makes no sense, it's terrible, but it makes you laugh. This doesn't make you laugh. We've laughed more from the conversation than the film.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, like, for me, like, it was so cringe, and I was just like, oh, please don't show a sex scene. Please stop showing the crotch shots.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean, I was grateful. Like, I felt really grateful that we didn't actually see the 3 snakes.
Oh,
because
God.
I thought for sure we were about to get a close-up.
$12,000 was already spent by that point, thankfully.
Yes, there was no budget left for
was nothing
snakes.
left.
If he had 15, we would have got snakes.
We're asked to go along on this journey to say that there were these mutant frogs, yeah? That have somehow come about because of the nuclear warfare. Were they created as part of it, or are they humans that have been turned into frogs? It's not made clear where they've come from.
They're mutant frogs, so I would think it was more likely they were frogs that were turned human than humans that were turned frogs.
Okay.
Because it says they're mutants.
Well, why do they sound American then? Why do they speak English and sound American? There's no pop culture left.
USA.
It's not like they were watching the news.
Touche.
And if they were watching the news, all they hear was...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so if it's been 10 years, if the first mutant frogs started 10 years ago, there could have been TV and pop culture when the world was like dying. So it could have escalated from then, because I guess they weren't just on their own. I guess at first they were integrated in society, and then they were banished to this place and contained. So that makes me think that's why they sound American, because it's in America. So it would have been from what's around them.
Wait a minute. I've just had a theory.
Ooh.
You know there was loads of border points that all for different animal towns.
What?
I don't know, the whole concept has just fried my brain. Like, and I've seen a lot of strange films over the years, and this is definitely the strangest.
Well, you know, Neil, you said that there's a lot of unanswered questions. Well, luckily for you, there was a sequel made.
They're greener. The time has come for the creatures of Frogtown to rise up. They're meaner. But these mutants are no teenagers. Ribbit.
Does it answer the questions or pose more?
I don't know, I haven't seen it. I feel like I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
Vicky definitely wants to see it.
I feel like I've got an aneurysm from this film, so I'm not going to watch it.
Now, luckily for us, we only watch films with wrestlers in. Roddy Piper is replaced in the second film.
What? What happens in the sequel? Because at the end of this, I would have expected there to be a thing saying like 5 years later, and then to show like a bunch of kids running around to show like everything had worked out and it was all alright.
No, we just end up with Roddy with his little Piper.
So the plot of Frogtown 2, which was made 4 years later in 1992. So in the sequel to Hell Comes to Frogtown, the mutant frog leader of Frogtown kidnaps a professor and forces him to make a serum that will turn everyone into frogs. They also kidnap some people to test the serum on, and courageous Sam Hell will have to save them.
Whoa.
Sam Hell's work is just never done.
I hope he has a sword, because that's the only way he's effective.
I hope he has another contract, because frankly, that's not in his first contract.
It's
and he
not,
has to
no.
do this.
Take tremendous foresight of the provisional government to include all those potential consequences in the
Hang on a
contract.
minute, there's more than just a sequel. I'm on IMDb now.
Oh, there's a third. Lou Ferrigno is also in it, and they tried to turn him into a frog person with superhuman strength.
I think we're very lucky that they stopped with this wrestlers, our Sam Hell, pattern, because if we didn't look like Jimmy Superfly Snooker in one of these films, we'd have to watch it.
This film has 5.5 on IMDb.
What?
Surprising.
And a 56 rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
And a 46 audience meter.
What?
Yeah.
Did Roddy's family put all these reviews and things in?
Well,
Is that where the budget went? To pay for good reviews?
if B.A. Harrison is part of Roddy Piper's family, then yes.
Possible.
Because he writes, and Vicky will love this first line, not very riveting.
That is a good start.
I knew that would get you. Roddy Piper once put me in a chokehold at my request and damn near snapped my head off. It's a good job I didn't let him know what I thought about Hell Comes to Frogtown. He might have finished the job. 5 out of 10.
I mean, I would hope that... I know he's not around anymore, but I would have hoped that Roddy was aware enough to know this wasn't a great film.
Like, this is his first film. Luckily for him, he then did They Live, which is seen as like a real cult classic. But then looking at the rest of his filmography, he kind of went instantly back down again. Hey Sweden puts Hell Comes to Frogtown is an irresistible serving of 1980s cheese, a deliberately goofy send-up of the whole post-nuke action genre. It's engagingly silly from start to finish, with some choice bits of dialogue and fun performances. It offers more entertainment than a lot of mega-buck Hollywood movies, beginning with its casting of wrestling star Roddy Piper in his first starring role, and gave it a generous 7 out of 10.
I think like Hey Sweden is given a lot of credit, thinking this is a parody of like other nuclear war films.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think Randall Frake, who wrote this, was parodying anything.
Leo Wine, I think, is more on our level.
Okay.
He puts, Hell Comes to Frogtown is an excruciating B-movie comedy in which the heroic Hell, played by former wrestler Roddy Piper, is released from a jail in a post-apocalyptic world and sent on a rescue mission to free a group of beautiful women to save him from an evil mutant frogman. All correct? Yes, I didn't make that up. That's really what the film is about, and it's just as unbelievably cheesy as it sounds. And he only gives it 3 out of 10. So, yeah, I'd probably go around with that one. Rotten Tomatoes, it doesn't get any better. Jonathan Perry puts, if you rent a film with this title, you deserve what you get. Utter crapola.
Crapola?
Wow.
And then on the flip side, Luke Y. Thompson puts, wrestling, mutant frogs, breast, Roddy Piper fertilising Earth's last remaining females. What more could you possibly want?
Breast, not just breast.
Yeah.
Breast.
Just one.
Just one.
One breast.
Just one.
Also,
And he gave it 5 stars. So that was our review of Hell Comes to Frogtown. What did you guys think of the film? What film would you like to see next in this series? There are tons of horrific films still yet to be watched.
Yay!
As always, thank you for checking out this video. If you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, it would really be such a huge help out to us. So as always, it's a bye from Neil.
Bye.
It's a bye from Erica.
Adios.
It's a bye from Vicky.
Bye, guys.
And it's a bye from me. Bye. And hopefully we will see you for another video soon.